Yeah, I'm just white. I'll call it.
Just coach properly. Easy.
Can I have a couple of beers?
A lot of our talk is probably about rugby, so, but apart from that, maybe a little bit of chat about playing paddle, and maybe that's about it. Maybe old stories from the All Blacks days and stuff like that.
Yeah, for me, like yeah, very genuine person. You know, gets on with anyone. Always doing his best at trainings and that. So look, yeah, stand-up guy as far as a person goes, and yeah, chat. Yeah, just shooting the breeze really. Whatever, you know, any sort of subject.
That was a lot better than my answer.
Yeah, I was from a little farming town in Taranaki. Everyone just played rugby. We had a rugby club. I went to school with about 70 kids, and we just all played rugby in bare feet. And that's how it started. And then had 5 brothers, so we used to play on the front lawn at home. So that's how I started.
Me, probably just Dad took me down to rugby when I was 5 to start, and then was more so just to play with my mates at the start. And also, I remember my granddad used to give me $2 per try as well, so that was a bit of motivation.
There was a lot of money in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think Taranaki's better than Auckland or Waikato or that, because, you know, we have some good farming land down there, grass grows, good surf beaches.
Yeah, I'd say Northland's, you know, got the weather where Taranaki might not have.
Yeah.
Also the seafood, quite good seafood up north, good fishing spots, and some good bakeries for some pies.
Oh, look, it is where you are. It's you know, there's good things about Japan. You know, obviously the sushi, the food is good. You know, very seems very safe country. It'd be great to be able to bring the kids up here. Talking to some players and staff, you know, for foreign players and staff, you know, pleased with how safe it is for kids to go outside and play, which is not probably in all countries.
How organised Japanese are, especially public transport and everything.
Yeah, true.
In New Zealand you might get a train every hour if you're lucky. People are friendly, very friendly. One thing that I do miss about back home is the quietness though. Not so many people, not used to being in big cities like Tokyo and Osaka, but also really good experience as well.
Oh yeah, I think, you know, the biggest difference for me probably in the rugby environment here in Japan is that, Japan and New Zealand, I mean in New Zealand you get players go on a pathway and they play for teams. And you know, they might be at university but they're still in academies or they're still being developed, whereas here you don't get a player until he's finished university, which is 22, 23 years old. And then you've got them in a squad of 60 players, so they get no rugby. Whereas in New Zealand, those players would be playing each week for a club or each week for a second team or third team in your competition. So that's the biggest difference in the environment, I think, and it's probably one of the biggest negatives on Japanese rugby is that you know, the players come in too late for a start, probably, and then they just don't play rugby.
Difference for me as a player over here is probably the barriers with the language and the culture. Obviously back home everyone's from the same area and you play for your province, and a little bit easier to connect on a cultural level as a team. Easier to have harder conversations and stuff like that, whereas here there's quite large squad sizes and then obviously language barrier.
As a leader, you have to be natural for a start. You have to be authentic. You know, you can't be someone who's not who you're not. And then a leader for me just leads by example. You can't be a leader if one day you're up and the next day you're down. And leading by example, I call it, and probably, you know, and then you just treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you do that, to me, is a leader.
Pressure. No. So much result driven, but if we can do all the processes that lead to success, then I'm sure that will eventually come later.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's about as individuals being accountable